Backstage, the show where we sit down with local artists and international artists and find out what's going on in their lives and in their careers. On Channel 82, where Bermuda shines through.
Hi, welcome to Backstage. I'm your host, Mr. Magic. My guest today is this lovely young lady sitting next to me, Miss Shelley Thunder. You hear her voice every day on Mix 106, well, Monday to Friday in any case. But prior to that, we're going to find out what she was doing before Mix 106. Hi, Shelley.
Hey, Magic.
Welcome
How you doing?
To the show. I'm doing well, and thank you for being here. Truly appreciate
My
having
pleasure.
you.
My pleasure.
So let's start it out.
Yeah.
Let's take it back. Let the people first of all know that we have known each other all
Forever.
our lives.
Yes.
Okay. We went to school.
Yes.
Together, or as she likes to say, we didn't go to school. We went
Delwood.
We went Delwood. Yeah. So from young children, we've known each other.
Yes.
And you got your first job, I believe, coming straight out of high school.
Yeah, I got a job at ZBM right after graduation in 1980. Perish the thought, it was that long ago. But because I could speak and read well, that's how I got the job. And I sort of owe my sort of whole broadcasting career to Al Seymour Sr., who came to Northlands, where I was in school, to talk to us about portrait sketching, because he's a brilliant portrait artist, Senior is. And I was like, yeah, I could do that. I could read the news. He was the anchor at the time, and that's how it sort of sparked my interest. And I asked for what I want. That's my motto in life.
Yeah.
And I asked if that was possible, and I practiced reading and recorded, and it was really, Al Seymour Sr. I have to credit for getting me in the door up at Bermuda Broadcasting back then.
Oh, good. So that's started the ball rolling in your career in music.
Yeah, after that I kind of got more into sort of theater and audio production.
Yes.
I worked for a small company that did 60 millimeter film editing and stuff like that. Jensen's was the name of the company at the time, and that's when VCRs were first coming out.
Jensen's, yes.
He was one of the first to rent VCRs and stuff like that. So I worked for him for a couple years, and then I met the technical manager up at the Empire Room, Wallace Rayner. And the Empire Room was just getting into doing Greg Thompson's Follies.
Yes.
People will remember that from back in the day.
I was actually part of Greg Thompson's Follies. I was the magician
there
for
you
the
go.
show. Yeah.
And so all those years we did that, and that's sort of how sparked my interest in becoming an audio technician. So now I kind of do as much as I can with live music here in Bermuda with the various companies and the various bands that need a little help to make them sound good. Because like I say all the time, they don't go home humming the lights.
Well, no, and
they
and
go
it's
home
funny,
humming the tune.
Well, you know what? It's funny that you say that, because one of the questions I want to put forward to you, with all the artists that you have been literally backstage,
Sure.
behind the soundboard, mixing and everything else, I've heard this complaint.
Yes.
Local artists want to come on, do their show, and then the international comes on, do the show, and and then the local artist says, you were using different equipment for that foreign artist. How come I didn't sound like that? Why didn't they sound like that?
Well, lots of times, unfortunately, the local artists in this industry here have gotten a little shortchanged, in my humble opinion, in what we can provide for them when it comes to production. There's a lot that goes on. And often, though, too, it's about preparation. It's about having the artists themselves having what they need.
Right.
All their ducks in a row, so to speak. And again, asking for what you want. It's a big.
So basically,
big thing.
being there for sound check.
Being there for sound check's helpful, yeah. Very helpful, and that wasn't always, what the issues were. Oftentimes, you have so many channels in a mixing board, and an international artist comes in and says, "I need X number of channels," and then basically, you sort of can't touch that.
Okay.
So what you have left over, you can do, or make minimal changes and then have it ready for the show. With the advent of digital technology, though, that's rarely a problem anymore.
Okay.
Because you can set up several pages of mix in a digital console, and everyone can share the same basic input list, but have totally different bells and whistles, we'll call it,
Yeah.
for their stuff. than the act before them or the act coming after them.
So basically, the artist, whether it be local or overseas, can say, listen, this is what I need.
This is what I need. Can I please have this is a good way to say it.
Yeah, can I please? Now, also because right now, like you said, with the way mixing boards are designed, there are more multiple channels that can be utilized.
Absolutely, absolutely.
To make it happen. Instead of the old-fashioned, like, listen, we've got 6 on this side and 4 on that side. Which 2 do you want?
Well, mixing consoles got bigger and bigger. You know, got up to like 42 and something channels on an analog mixer, and it's like bigger than a couch, man. It just when it comes to space and production, with the advent of digital consoles, everything is incorporated in that one little console that's now like the size of a chair. Like a 32-channel digital console is this big.
Yeah.
And with those 32 channels, you can set up what they call a page. And you can have your drum kit and your rest of your band, your rhythm section, your vocals, and all of the stuff that you need to make someone sound good when it comes to what we call outboard equipment, signal processing and things like that is already built in. So you can have your nice reverbs and your delays, you can fix your drum sounds so they don't feed back, you can do all of that, record, and then change the page and do it all again for a whole other band.
For different set.
And then when you do recall, you have your first band ready and they're done and you clear the board and hit recall for the second band, and it's all there now. So it's a whole lot easier, but back in the day, you're absolutely right. There was many an artist that sort of had to make do, but oftentimes it was just that you think you sound a certain way, perhaps, but then when you see yourself back or something, maybe you don't quite sound that way. You know what I mean? And so it's a learning curve when it comes to being involved in live production.
Right. So the balance again. So the balance is like either as the sound people, we are not got you really tuned in. Sure. And then on the other side, sometimes it's like you're not really tuned in.
Not really tuned in.
So you have to come together and do this. And of course, commitment. I said this earlier, but commitment to being there for sound checks and everything else helps, so that later on in the show, you know what you've already lined up and what you've keyed into the system to be
the
proper.
thing that I learned most of all is like the life of a promoter is not an easy life. I've never been a promoter, never wanted to be. I've worked for just about every production company on the island in just about every production space that you can imagine. And being a promoter is not an easy job. Dealing with an international artist that has specific things that they want to have happen and timing and stuff like that can be quite challenging. So often, again, it was not the local act's fault that maybe they didn't get their sound check. It could have been that the international act was an hour late and then used their sound check to rehearse their entire set. Right. You know what I mean? Yes, we experienced a little bit of that over the weekend with the function that we were both at over the Cup Match weekend. And so you kind of have to, if you're in the live entertainment business, patience is really good. Being sure of what you need and what you want and what you know is a good thing to be. And doing the best you can with what you have at the moment. Live entertainment is just that. It's live and of the moment, and things can go wrong. And they often do.
And Murphy's Law said
they often do. Yeah. I usually blame the Bermuda Triangle when things go wrong. Okay. It's an easy out with everybody. Triangle. Shucks. You know, so I use that one a lot. And it brings a little levity to the situation sometimes. And I often find myself sort of being the Switzerland of the group, the diplomat.
Being neutral,
and having to point out that it's going to be okay. We're going to get this done.
All right. And on that note, we'll be back right after this, more with Shelley Johnston. And we're going to find out what she's doing now at Mix 106.
Yes.
And we'll be back right after this. I'm not giving anything away. Just come back. We're going to talk while they're going to commercial. Because we got to find out what's going on with you at Mix 106.
Sure.
And we can do that.
All right.
All right. Yeah, let's do that.